warm welcome. It's Stephanie here and I'm part of the Card Creators Plus team along with Tammy and Bernie. And in today's video I'm going to make an Eclipse card, and it's a Christmas card. Now I don't know about you, but we're almost at the end of April now and I just don't know where the weeks and the months have gone. But back in January, when we decided that we would make a Christmas card each month, a different design, and we would take it in turns of designing it, I thought, what a brilliant idea, because I've been paper crafting now for almost 20 years and every year I end up rushing at the last minute to make my Christmas cards. But this year I'm really pleased because up to now I'm getting a nice little stash built up with our designs that we've done. So I hope that inspires you to think about it rather than me rushing at the last minute when Christmas comes. So this is the card we're going to be making today. It's actually super easy, can be made in any shape, size, and as we've said with all our cards, it really depends on the sentiment and the embellishments to what it's for. You know, it could be for any occasion, but this one is for Christmas. I did this one and then I also did a couple of others. I don't have a die, and so I've actually used my cutting machine, but you could use dies, punches, or use a cutting machine to sort of cut the shape that you want to take out and make that the right raised piece, which is your Eclipse. I did this one and that's the one we're going to make today, but I also did a couple more. I did this one, again, I haven't got a die. I'd love it if I had a big alphabet die like this, but I've cut this on my silhouette as well, and just raise the word joy up. And then I did this one, and when I'd actually started to make it and I hadn't got to the stage of putting the other pieces back in, I thought actually that looks quite nice with them left out, and I could use the Noel on another card. So I was actually quite pleased, and these are another 3 cards for my stash now. What was I going to say now? Oh, on these 2 I actually did a backing paper. I've done red on this one and blue on here, so that when you actually, well, in this case I haven't put anything on, but in this case where the letters are raised, just underneath it you can see the blue behind it. But on the one that we're going to do today, I haven't done anything behind it. It is white, and the reason I left it white, if you can see the white underneath, is because I thought I'm putting a white ribbon on it and I'm putting an embellishment that's white on it. So I thought that sort of all sort of coordinates, and then I thought I would just put a silver frame around it to make it that little bit more special. Okay, so I think I'll put these away now and we'll start making the card. I've got all the bits ready, all cut out. I'm making the 5x7, and I buy the kits that have got the card and the envelope in. But if you're using just a plain piece of card, not from a kit, it's just a piece of cardstock that measures 10 inches by 7 inches and it's scored in the middle. So I'll fold this in half now, and then that's my card blank done. I'll just burnish that so it makes a nice crisp line. Okay, and that's ready. Now what I've done with the piece that's going inside, I've cut it just a little bit smaller. The ones that I've done the other cards that have got another border behind, I've done it sort of 1/4 of an inch on all layers, but because this is going inside and it's just going to have a frame around, I've just cut it a tiny bit smaller so it fits on side that without hanging over the edges. So we'll glue this first. And I'm like Tammy now, I've got my glue in a pot so that it doesn't clog up and it runs freely. I think it's a really nice card, this, and you could really quite easily batch make it. But I'm hoping that I'm going to be organised enough to get my cards done so that I'm not going to be last minute. Right, the one thing, when you've cut the aperture out, make sure that you put plenty of glue actually round the edges of where you've cut it, because you want that to stick down well. You don't want that raising up, because obviously the other piece is going to fit inside it and you want it to stay down nice and flat. Right, so that is that bit done. And I make sure I've got my card the right side up, because I've done that before today and put it on when it's that way around, and opening it up it's wrong. Okay, so let's glue this on here. Okay. And so I've made sure I put plenty of glue around this area, around the heart, so that it really sticks well. And that's the first bit done. Now the piece that's going to go, the heart that's going to be raised up, the one thing, if you're doing a card like this that's got the 2 layers, so you've got a piece that's going back in with the letters, you haven't, you're just putting the letters back in, but with this you've got a piece. It would be no good trying to just glue this in and then find that it doesn't fit in line with this. So what you do, before you put the tape on, this piece is going to be raised, but before ever you put the tape on, just pop that back in so that you've got it exactly where it's been cut out, so you know it's right. So that this, you're going to glue now, this piece is going to be flat, and I'm going to glue this, and then that will go in, and it's going to go in exactly the right place, so that when you come to do the heart with the foam pieces on, that's going to line up properly as well. So if you do this first and then pop that in, so this is in place, and I can line this up, and I know that it's going to be exactly true to where it's got to be. So that is fitting in there, and that's perfect. Okay, that goes in there. When you've done that now, you can lift that out, and you know that now when we put the foam on this to put it in, that is in exactly the right place. And in actual fact, that looks quite nice. If I'd have done a backing of darker blue behind it and just left that centerpiece, that would even look nice without this piece in. So there's lots of options. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll put some foam on the back of this. Now what I have done, I've got 2 depths, and this is quite a thick one. If you look, it's quite thick, but I wanted it thick because I want it to really stand up. So we'll cut some really thin strips off here, because I haven't got a roll one. They're actually cubes. But so I'll put this on here, and then say it's going to be quite raised up. Oops, I'm trying to stick the wrong side of it now. I'll do like that. I don't know about you, but I do send a lot of Christmas cards. It's something that we tend to do in the UK, and I like to send cards particularly to people that we don't see very often. You know, they may live away or work away, and you want to let them know you're thinking about them at Christmas, which is a special time, but you don't see them. And I think it's really nice to send somebody cards, tell them you're thinking about them. And I love to receive cards as well. And this particular one, I've done a sentiment for on the front that all hearts come home for Christmas. And I think that's really lovely for particularly people who work away, or if you've lost family and you want to send it to somebody who's close at heart. I think it's a really nice sentiment. Right, that's that bit done now. So hopefully I've put enough on there. We'll take these little bits off, and then we can stick it down. And say, if you've done the prep work for this card design, if you did prep work for quite a few of them, you could actually get them done quite quickly. And it's just that little bit more special than just a completely flat card for, you know, for special friends. And to make that one, I've messed that one up I think a bit. It's the tape's gone a bit sideways, so I'll just have to check it in a minute to make sure that it's sticky enough. Oops. More fingers and thumbs today. Oh no, that's sticky. Not sure about that one. I think whether I've got that, I think I've got that side on that one there. Just check. Yeah, I have. I just have to turn that round a bit. See. Yeah, I thought it was wrong then, it wasn't sticking. can't have that. Right, that's right now. So it's all sticky. Oh, I think I'll just put one more little piece there. Let's get extra little bit. And maybe one in the centre of there as well. Just a tiny thin strip. Would be better if I had a roll of this instead of these silly little individual ones. But anyway, they'll serve the purpose. That's there. And then move all these pieces out of the way. I'll take that off. And then we'll put this on, and as you say, it's going to line up really easily because we've put that in before we stuck the heart down, so we know that it's going to raise properly. So I just hover it over the top to make absolutely sure I'm getting it level, and I'm making sure that the candle there is lining up. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle to make sure it completely lines up, and that's it. And that's all it is, and it's raised up, which I think is great. Right, so what we're going to do now is put the frame on it. I'll just put these round here and I'll glue that in. Just looks a bit nicer, doesn't it, with something raised up rather than being completely flat. And I've got a tip as well for putting the frame on. I've cut the frame exactly 5 inches by 7 inches, which is at the size of the card, so it's going to fit on the edge properly. And to make sure that I can line it up well, I mean, I am using wet glue, which does help if you're trying to put a frame on and you need that little bit of wiggle room to move it about if it's just not in line properly. But what I do, and I'm just going to get this for you, is to get something with an edge that you can push it against. Right, I've glued that, and I'll just get this to show you what I mean. If you've got something that you've got an edge that you can butt it up to, it does help when you're putting this on. And I use this because it's got an edge here and an edge there. So if I push my card up against that, and then I get the frame and I push the frame up against it, it can't go anywhere else but where it's supposed to go, because it's actually lining up with it. So I'm pushing it against that. The card's pushed up against there as well. And then I just push that into line there, so it will go on exactly where it's supposed to go. And that just helps for you to line it up properly. Okay, so that bit's done. And it's all lined. I don't have to cut any bits off that I haven't got in place properly because they're all lined up. So that's that bit done. So I'll move this out of the way. Didn't need to use my scoreboard either today for anything. Right. So I'm sticking that down well. Now I'm going to, I did use a die for these. I've got the little sentiment, which I'm going to stick on. Again, I hadn't a stamp for this, so I've actually just typed this out and printed it off. I have got a stamp that says miles apart and close in heart, and I think that comes quite a lot with crafters as well, because I've made lots of friends through crafting in different parts of the world, and I think we've all got that common interest because we all love to craft. And I think it makes a really lovely community. So yes, I think that's what we all are. Miles apart but close in heart. Okay, so that's that one. Now I do want to raise it a little bit, but I don't want it to detract from this. I don't want it to be higher than that. So I have got some foam here that's probably half the depth. So I'm going to use that to put on the back of this one. I'll just cut some strips off, and then we can use this and stick that on. use 2 of these. It might be a little bit long. I'll just trim a bit more off. So it will be raised a little bit, but it won't be as tall as that. I'll just take the tape off this one. Okay, and all hearts come home for Christmas. So I'm going to pop this here. You see it's raised just a little bit, but it's lower than that. So that's the sentiment on. The next thing, we've got a little bow. I love bows. So what I'm going to do as well is get a little bit of red liner tape. I forgot to get that out. I use that for the back of bows and things like that because I can just roll it up a little bit so you can't see it, but it's nice and strong. So let's just take a tiny bit of red liner tape and put this on the back of the bow. I'll just squish it down. My nails aren't long enough, I'll have to use this pokey tool to get it off. That's it, that's that done. We'll put the bow on. So that's the bow. And I've got a little snowflake as well, so we'll have that on. Again, I'll put something behind that. I'm just going to pull my curtains to. I shouldn't really be complaining because it's not been sunny at all. It's been quite cloudy, but that's better. The sun was just causing a little bit of a glare. So again, I'm going to put a tiny piece of foam on the back just to raise it up a little bit. And then we've got the snowflake on. I think I'll pop that onto there. And one other little thing, you can't not have a bit of bling, so we'll just have one little diamante bead on here, just a small one, just on the top. And that is my card finished. Oh, no, but wait, it's just not quite finished. There's just one other thing. I'll put this away, and that is the verse for inside. And I've printed a verse off and it says, Christmas is a time to remember and send best wishes to, wishes of a special kind, with every thought of you, with love at Christmas. So I'm going to pop that inside here, and then that's another Christmas card to add to my stash. Whoops. Let's get this off here. Just turn this inside. And that's inside there. And that's finished. I hope you like it, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope I've inspired you to sort of think about Christmas rather than leaving it till the last minute. And if you have enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. That way you'll be notified each time we release a video. Anyway, I think that's everything from me for now, so I look forward to seeing you next time, and bye for now. Bye.